The harsh lights of Solar Defense Station Aegis cast long shadows across Lieutenant Commander Sarah Chen's workstation. Her fingers danced across holographic displays as she made final adjustments to her simulation. Outside the station's reinforced windows, Earth hung like a brilliant blue jewel against the backdrop of space, seemingly peaceful despite the war that threatened to tear humanity apart. Running simulation attempt 2847. She muttered, her voice rough from too many hours without sleep. The dark circles under her eyes testified to weeks of endless work, but she couldn't stop. Not when they were running out of time. The holographic display erupted with light as her quantum defense system simulation activated. This time, the results were different. This time, the numbers aligned perfectly. Sarah stood up so quickly her chair crashed to the floor behind her. "It works," she whispered, then louder. "It actually works." Her excitement echoed through the empty laboratory. At 300 hours, she was the only one still working. But that was nothing new. The other scientists had called her obsessed, crazy even, for pursuing quantum entanglement as a defense mechanism. Traditional shields and armor were the way to go, they said. But traditional defenses hadn't saved the outer colonies from the Meridian Collective. Sarah's hands trembled as she compiled the data. The Meridians had appeared 18 months ago, their massive ships emerging from fold space with technology centuries ahead of humanity's best efforts. They didn't bother with declarations of war or demands for surrender. They simply started methodically destroying human colonies, their energy weapons cutting through humanity's strongest shields like they weren't even there. The casualty reports haunted Sarah's dreams. New Mars, 2.3 million dead. Europa base, 750,000 dead. The numbers kept climbing, and Earth's best minds couldn't find a way to stop them. Until now. Sarah activated her comm unit. "Admiral Hassan, I apologize for the hour, but you need to see this." The Admiral's hologram appeared moments later, his uniform crisp despite the late hour. "This better be important, Commander Chen. The Defense Council meets in 4 hours to discuss the Ganymede evacuation." "Sir, I've done it. The Echo Shield works. Look at these results." She transmitted the simulation data. Hassan's hologram showed him studying the numbers, his expression shifting from irritation to confusion to disbelief. "This can't be right," he said. "You're claiming your system can not only block Meridian weapons but redirect their energy." "Not just redirect, sir. Amplify. The quantum entanglement matrix creates a cascading effect. The more energy they throw at us, the stronger our defense becomes. We can turn their own weapons against them." Hassan's hologram flickered as he paced. "Chen, do you understand what you're saying? This would change everything. But the energy requirements alone are solved by the attack itself." Sarah interrupted, knowing she was breaking protocol but too excited to care. "That's the beauty of it. We don't need massive power plants. The enemy provides the energy. We just need to build the quantum matrix framework. The Defense Council will never approve this. They're traditionalists. They want bigger guns, stronger conventional shields. This is too experimental, too different." Sarah's voice hardened. "Sir, with respect, being different is exactly what we need. The Meridians expect us to think like them, to fight like them. That's why they're winning. We need to change the rules." Hassan was quiet for a long moment. "Send me everything. And Chen, get some sleep. You'll need to present this to the Council in person." 4 hours later, Sarah stood before the Defense Council, her prototype designs displayed on the massive screens behind her. The Council chamber was filled with Earth's military leadership, their faces stern as they reviewed her proposal. "A quantum entanglement defense grid." General Roberts scoffed. "Commander Chen, we need real solutions, not theoretical physics experiments." "With respect, General, theory stopped being theoretical when I achieved successful simulations," Sarah replied, her voice steady despite her exhaustion. "The Meridians are coming. Our conventional defenses can't stop them. We need to think differently. Different. Admiral Wong leaned forward. Commander, your proposal violates half a dozen laws of physics. No, sir. It works within laws we simply haven't fully understood until now. The Meridian's weapons are based on energy projection. My system turns that against them. Every shot they fire makes us stronger. The room erupted in arguments. Sarah stood her ground as the council debated, her eyes fixed on the latest casualty reports scrolling across her tablet. Another colony gone. Another million lives lost while they argued about physics. Then the alarms began to scream. Multiple fold space ruptures detected. The emergency channels exploded with activity. Meridian fleet emerging in the Kuiper Belt. Estimated time to Earth orbit. 72 hours. The council chamber fell silent. Admiral Hassan stood up. It seems, colleagues, that we've run out of time for debate. Commander Chen, you have 48 hours. Show us if your echo shield works. Because if it doesn't, Earth burns. Sarah nodded once, her face set with determination. Yes, sir. And when it does work, remember this moment. Remember how we almost lost everything, because we were afraid to try something new. As she left the chamber, Sarah's mind was already racing through the calculations needed to scale up her prototype. The Meridians were coming, bringing their superior technology and overwhelming firepower. But this time, humanity would be ready. This time, they would learn that sometimes the best defense isn't just more armor or bigger guns. Sometimes, the best defense is turning an enemy's strength into their greatest weakness. The prototype Echo Shield generator hummed to life in the test chamber, its quantum matrix framework casting ethereal patterns across the walls. Sarah Chen hadn't slept in 36 hours, but adrenaline kept her focused as she monitored the readings. They had 36 hours left before the Meridian fleet arrived. 36 hours to prove that her impossible defense system could save Earth. Power levels stable, Dr. Marcus Rivera reported from his station. The young physicist had volunteered to help when everyone else had written off Sarah's project as a waste of time. Quantum field coherence at 98%. Begin weapons test, Sarah ordered. In the chamber beyond the observation window, automated defense turrets powered up, targeting the small Echo Shield generator. These were Earth's best weapons, designed to simulate Meridian energy signatures as closely as possible. The first shot struck the quantum field. Instead of dispersing or being absorbed, the energy seemed to flow like liquid light through the geometric patterns of the quantum matrix. The readings on Sarah's display spiked. Field strength increasing. Marcus announced, excitement creeping into his voice. The quantum cascade is working exactly as you predicted. Each impact is strengthening the matrix. Sarah allowed herself a small smile. The simulation results were translating perfectly to reality. But they needed more. Much more. Increase power to maximum, she ordered. Hit it with everything. The defense turrets opened fire at full capacity, their combined energy output enough to vaporize a conventional shield. The Echo Shield's quantum field blazed brighter with each impact, the energy flowing through its matrix like rivers of light. Sir, Marcus's voice cracked with disbelief. The field isn't just absorbing the energy anymore. It's amplifying it. Power readings are off the scale. Before Sarah could respond, a new voice cut through the test chamber. Shut it down immediately. General Roberts stormed into the observation room, followed by a team of security officers. This unauthorized weapons test is over. General, please, Sarah protested. Look at the readings. The system works. We can have a full-scale version ready before the Meridians arrive if I just what, Commander? Risk Earth's last defense on your theoretical physics experiment. Roberts's face was red with anger. The Defense Council has made its decision. We're deploying our conventional forces to meet the Meridian fleet. Your project is terminated. Sarah felt the blood drain from her face. Conventional forces. That's suicide. Our best ships can't even scratch their shields. And your quantum nonsense is a waste of precious resources we need for real defense systems. Roberts turned to the security team. Clear this lab. All research data is to be classified and sealed. Sarah watched helplessly as officers began disconnecting her equipment. Years of work, humanity's best chance at survival, being dismantled because military leadership was too afraid to embrace something new. She opened her mouth to protest again when every alarm in the station began screaming. Multiple fold space ruptures detected. The emergency channel crackled. Meridian scout fleet emerging in lunar orbit. This is not a drill. The general's face went pale. That's impossible. Our calculations showed we had 36 hours before their main fleet arrived. Sarah finished grimly. This is just their advance force, testing our defenses. The station shuddered as the first Meridian shots struck Earth's orbital shields. Through the observation window, Sarah could see flashes of light as humanity's defense fleet engaged the alien scouts. The traditional weapons were as ineffective as she'd warned, barely scratching the Meridian shields. "General," she said quietly, her voice steady despite the chaos around them. "That prototype is the only working echo shield generator we have. In about 10 minutes, those scouts are going to break through our conventional defenses. When they do, they'll start bombarding the surface, killing millions, just like they did to our colonies. Or you can let me power up my quantum nonsense and show you what it can really do." Robert stared at the battle raging outside, watching another human ship explode under Meridian fire. His shoulders slumped slightly. "Do it," he ordered. "But Chen, if this fails, we'll all be dead anyway," Sarah replied, already rushing to reconnect the prototype. "Marcus, reroute all available power to the quantum matrix. We're about to stress test this system for real." As her team worked frantically to restore the echo shield generator, Sarah's mind raced through the calculations. The prototype was never meant to defend something as large as a space station. They'd have to modify the quantum field on the fly, adapt it to cover more area without losing coherence. Through the window, she could see more Meridian ships emerging from fold space, their sleek forms beautiful and terrifying. They'd expected humanity to be helpless, to rely on the same defensive technologies they'd already proven they could defeat. They'd expected an easy victory. Sarah's hands flew across the control panels, making final adjustments to the quantum matrix. "They think they know everything about us," she muttered. "They think they can predict every move we'll make. Time to show them how wrong they are." The echo shield generator hummed to life just as the first Meridian ship turned its weapons on the station. In moments, they would learn that humanity's greatest strength wasn't in copying their enemy's tactics. It was in finding entirely new ways to fight back. And Sarah Chen was about to teach them that lesson the hard way. The Meridian energy weapon struck the echo shield at full power, a blast that would have vaporized conventional defenses. Instead of destruction, the quantum matrix lit up like a constellation, geometric patterns of light dancing across its surface as it absorbed the attack. Sarah Chen's fingers flew across the control panel, fine-tuning the quantum field harmonics in real time. "Energy absorption at 40% capacity," Marcus called out, his voice steady despite the chaos around them. "Matrix stability holding at 93%. Through the observation window, Sarah watched the Meridian scout ships circle the station like predators testing their prey's defenses. Their first attack had failed to destroy the station as expected, and now they seemed unsure how to proceed. Good. Uncertainty wasn't something the Meridians were used to feeling. Multiple weapons locks detected. The tactical officer's warning barely preceded the next barrage. 3 Meridian vessels opened fire simultaneously, their energy weapons converging on the echo shield. The quantum matrix blazed brighter, its patterns shifting and flowing as it channeled the incoming energy. Warning alerts screamed across Sarah's displays, but she smiled. The Meridians were playing right into her hands. "Energy absorption at 75%, Marcus reported. "The cascade effect is beginning. Each hit is increasing field strength exponentially." General Roberts watched the readings with growing amazement. "It's actually working. Chen, Your impossible shield is actually working." "Not just working, sir," Sarah replied, her eyes fixed on the energy readings. "We're almost ready for Phase 2. Marcus, prepare the quantum inversion sequence. Let's show them why it's called an echo shield." The Meridian ships pressed their attack, apparently believing that enough firepower would eventually overwhelm the strange human defense. Their energy weapons poured power into the quantum matrix, making it shine like a miniature sun. Energy absorption at 98%. Marcus's voice cracked with excitement. "Matrix is primed for inversion." Sarah took a deep breath. This was the moment of truth, the feature of her design that had caused the most skepticism among her peers. "Initiate quantum inversion. Target the lead Meridian vessel." The echo shield's brilliant glow suddenly changed pattern, its flowing energy streams reversing direction. All the power the Meridians had poured into their attack was about to be returned to them, amplified by the quantum cascade effect. The release of energy was beautiful in its devastation. A beam of pure white light erupted from the quantum matrix, striking the lead Meridian ship. Their supposedly impenetrable shields, designed to stop conventional weapons, meant nothing against their own energy, turned back against them. The alien vessel literally came apart, its hull splitting like paper as the amplified energy tore through its defenses. The remaining Meridian ships immediately ceased their attack, their formations breaking apart in what could only be described as panic. "Direct hit," Marcus shouted unnecessarily. "Complete destruction of target." The quantum cascade amplified their own energy by a factor of 3. "Impossible," one of the observing scientists whispered. "The power requirements for that kind of amplification are provided by the enemy themselves," Sarah finished, already adjusting the quantum matrix for another shot. "Every attack they make literally gives us more ammunition to use against them." Speaking of which, the remaining Meridian scouts had regrouped, but instead of pressing their attack, they were holding position at maximum weapons range. Sarah could almost imagine their confusion. Their superior technology, their overwhelming firepower, had suddenly become a liability. "They're transmitting," the communications officer announced. It's a request for parley." General Roberts laughed, the sound containing equal parts relief and vindication. "They want to talk now, after what they did to our colonies." "No," Sarah said quietly, watching new sensor contacts appear at the edge of their range. "They're stalling. That was just their scout force. The main fleet is arriving." Space itself seemed to tear open as hundreds of Meridian warships emerged from fold space, their massive forms blotting out the stars. The scout force had been impressive. The main fleet was terrifying. "Energy readings are off the scale," Marcus reported, his earlier excitement replaced by awe. "They're capital ships. The power output is unlike anything we've ever seen." Sarah nodded, her mind already racing through calculations. The prototype Echo Shield had handled the scouts, but this was different. They needed more power, more coverage, more. Her eyes widened as an idea struck. "General, I need a direct line to every defense station in Earth orbit, right now." Robert studied her face for a moment, then nodded to the communications officer. "Do it." "The prototype works," Sarah explained as she began transmitting design specifications. "But you're right, it's not enough for what's coming. We need to think bigger, much bigger." Understanding dawned on Roberts' face. "You want to link multiple generators, create a planetary defense system. Better." Sarah's fingers danced across the controls as she refined her calculations. "I want to create a quantum web. Every defense station, every satellite, every ship in the fleet, all linked together in one massive echo shield matrix. The more energy they throw at us, the stronger we become." Roberts finished. He turned to the communications officer. "Priority override to all stations. Commander Chen now has full authority over defense grid modifications. And get me Admiral Hassan. Tell him to ready the fleet. All of it." Sarah allowed herself a small smile as she watched the massive Meridian fleet approach. They thought they were coming to destroy humanity's homeworld, just as they'd destroyed so many colonies. Instead, they were about to provide exactly what Earth needed to defeat them. Their own overwhelming power turned back against them. The real battle for Earth was about to begin. Earth's orbital defense grid sparkled with quantum energy as Sarah Chen's Echo Shield system came online across hundreds of stations simultaneously. The geometric patterns of each local quantum matrix linked together, forming an intricate web of light that encircled the planet. From the main control center in Station Aegis, Sarah watched the network indicators turn green one by one. Quantum web synchronization at 87% and climbing, Marcus announced, coordinating with technical teams across the grid. The cascade effect is already stronger than our projections. The Meridian fleet filled the view screens, their massive ships arranged in attack formation. Their initial confusion at the destruction of their scout force had been replaced by cold determination. Energy readings from their weapon systems were climbing to unprecedented levels. "They're not going to test us this time," Sarah observed, making final adjustments to the quantum harmonics. "They're going to hit us with everything they have." Admiral Hassan's hologram appeared in the control center. "Commander Chen, the fleet is in position. Are you certain this quantum web of yours can handle their full attack?" Sarah met his gaze steadily. "Admiral, I'm counting on it. The more power they throw at us, the stronger our counterattack becomes. Just make sure our ships are ready to exploit any weaknesses we create." "All ships, battle stations," Hassan ordered. "Prepare to engage on Commander Chen's mark." The Meridian fleet moved with perfect coordination, their formation splitting into attack vectors designed to overwhelm any conventional defense. Their first volley was staggering. Thousands of energy weapons firing simultaneously, enough firepower to crack a planet. The quantum web lit up like a second sun as it absorbed the attack. Emergency alerts blared across every station as the energy level spiked beyond any previous calculations. Energy absorption at 120% of projected maximum. Marcus shouted over the alarms. "The linked matrices are amplifying each other. The cascade effect is going exponential." Sarah's fingers flew across the controls, adjusting the quantum harmonics in real time to handle the unprecedented power flow. The web's geometric patterns were shifting faster now, creating new configurations they hadn't seen in any simulation. "They're launching their second wave," the tactical officer reported. "Energy readings are even higher than the first volley." "Good," Sarah muttered, watching the power levels climb. "Keep coming. Give us everything you've got." The second Meridian barrage struck the quantum web. Instead of weakening it, the additional energy made the defensive matrix grow stronger, its patterns more complex. The very fabric of space seemed to shimmer around the linked quantum fields. Energy absorption at 200%. Marcus's voice was filled with equal parts terror and awe. "The matrices are perfectly synchronized. We've achieved quantum resonance across the entire web." Sarah allowed herself a fierce smile. "This is it. Signal all ships to stand by." Initiating full-spectrum quantum inversion. The quantum web's brilliant glow suddenly shifted, its flowing energy streams reversing direction, just as the prototype had done. But this time, the effect was magnified 1,000-fold by the linked matrices. All the energy from both Meridian attacks, amplified by the quantum cascade effect, and the resonance between hundreds of generators, was about to be released at once. "Target their command ships," Sarah ordered. "Fire." The release of power made the prototype's attack look like a firecracker compared to a nova. Multiple beams of pure white energy erupted from the quantum web, each one carrying the combined and amplified force of thousands of Meridian weapons. The alien fleet's supposedly impenetrable shields lasted less than a second against their own power turned back against them. Meridian command ships began breaking apart, their hulls unable to withstand the enormous energies being channeled through them. The sight of their flagships splitting in half seemed to break something in their tactical doctrine. Enemy fleet is breaking formation. The tactical officer reported with barely contained excitement. Their coordination is completely disrupted. Now, Admiral, Sarah called out, while they're disorganized. Hassan didn't hesitate. All ships, engage. Target their supply lines and communication nodes. Don't let them regroup. Earth's fleet surged forward, exploiting the gaps created by the quantum web's devastating counterattack. The Meridians, their usual perfect coordination shattered by the loss of their command ships, began to fall into disarray. Multiple enemy vessels attempting emergency fold space jumps, Tactical reported. They're trying to retreat. But Sarah's attention was on a new set of readings from the quantum web. The pattern variations she'd noticed earlier were evolving, becoming something new, something unexpected. Marcus, she called out, are you seeing this? The quantum resonance between the matrices, it's affecting local space-time. Marcus studied his readings with wide eyes. The fold space signatures. Our web is interfering with their jump attempts. They're trapped. Sarah's mind raced with the implications. They hadn't just created a defense system. They'd discovered a way to prevent the Meridians from escaping to fold space. For the first time since they'd appeared, humanity had them at a true disadvantage. Admiral, she transmitted to Hassan, concentrate fire on their engines. They can't run, and they can't beat us with pure firepower anymore. We've got them. As she watched Earth's fleet press their advantage, Sarah felt a moment of pure satisfaction. The Meridians had come expecting to find another primitive civilization to conquer. Instead, they'd found humans, adaptable, innovative, and capable of turning an enemy's greatest strength into a fatal weakness. The battle for Earth wasn't over, but its outcome was no longer in doubt. Humanity would survive, and the galaxy was about to learn an important lesson about underestimating them. The remnants of the once mighty Meridian fleet hung in Earth orbit like broken jewelry, their sleek hulls scarred by their own reflected energy. Sarah Chen stood at the observation window of Station Aegis, watching as human rescue ships approached the disabled alien vessels. The quantum web still shimmered around Earth, its intricate patterns now stable and self-sustaining. Final casualty reports coming in, Marcus reported quietly. We lost 28 ships and 3 orbital stations, but compared to their previous attacks, he left the sentence unfinished. Everyone knew that the Meridians had never left survivors before. They're hailing us again, the communications officer announced. It's their high command. Admiral Hassan's hologram appeared beside Sarah, ready to help me negotiate, Commander. You've earned the right to be there. Sarah nodded, straightening her uniform. The main screen activated, showing a group of Meridian leaders. Their color-shifting skin reflected their agitation, but there was something else in their expressions now. Something Sarah had never expected to see. Respect. We wish to discuss terms, the lead Meridian announced, their translator making the words sound clipped and formal. Our analysis of your quantum web technology has revealed unexpected developments. Unexpected. Sarah couldn't help but interject. Like discovering that overwhelming force isn't always the answer. The Meridian leader's skin rippled with what might have been embarrassment. We have conquered 17 civilizations before encountering yours. Each time, our technological superiority proved decisive. We did not consider that this superiority could be turned against us. That was your mistake, Hassan replied firmly. Humanity doesn't just adapt to challenges. We transform them into opportunities. So we have observed. The Meridian gestured, and technical data appeared on a secondary screen. Your quantum web technology. It is not merely a defensive system, is it? The space-time distortions it creates are a completely new field of physics, Sarah confirmed, understanding where this was going. One that you never discovered because you were too focused on purely offensive capabilities. The revelation hung in the air between the two species. The Meridians, for all their advanced technology, had fallen into the trap of assuming there was only one path of development. They had never considered that a supposedly primitive species might approach problems from an entirely different angle. "We propose an exchange," the Meridian leader said finally. "Your quantum physics knowledge for our fold space technology. A true exchange, as equals." Hassan looked at Sarah, raising an eyebrow. She stepped forward, facing the aliens who had so recently been bent on humanity's destruction. "Equals?" she asked. "Just hours ago, you were trying to annihilate us. Why should we trust you now?" The Meridian's skin shifted to a deep, solemn hue. "Because you have shown us something we had forgotten in our centuries of conquest. Innovation. Adaptation. The ability to see beyond conventional wisdom. These are traits we once possessed, before our technological superiority made us complacent." Sarah studied the alien leader's expression, recognizing the genuine realization there. The Meridians hadn't just been defeated militarily. They'd been shown the fundamental flaw in their entire civilization's approach. "We accept," she said finally, "but with conditions. First, you will help us restore the colonies you destroyed. All of them." "Agreed." "Second, you will acknowledge Earth's space as sovereign territory, protected by the quantum web defense system." "Also agreed." Sarah allowed herself a small smile. "And finally, you will remember this moment. Remember that humanity didn't beat you by copying your methods or trying to match your firepower. We beat you by thinking differently, by turning your greatest strength into a weakness, and then transforming that weakness into a completely new kind of strength." The Meridian leader's skin rippled with what might have been amusement. "That lesson, Commander Chen, is one we are unlikely to forget." As the negotiations continued, Sarah turned back to the observation window. The quantum web sparkled around Earth, each geometric pattern a testament to human ingenuity. But it was more than just a defense system now. It was a symbol of humanity's unique approach to challenges, their ability to find unexpected solutions to impossible problems. "Dr. Rivera," she called to Marcus, who was still monitoring the quantum field harmonics. "Start analyzing those space-time distortions we observed. I have a feeling we've only scratched the surface of what this technology can do." "Already on it," he replied eagerly. "The way the quantum matrices interact with fold space, we might be looking at an entirely new method of faster-than-light travel." Sarah nodded, watching as human and Meridian ships began working together to rescue survivors. The galaxy had changed today, not just because humanity had defeated a superior force, but because they had done it in a way that transformed enemies into partners. The Meridians had come to Earth expecting to find another primitive civilization to conquer. Instead, they had found humanity, innovative, adaptable, and capable of turning any challenge into an opportunity for growth. They had learned what so many others would learn in the centuries to come, that humanity's greatest strength wasn't in their weapons or defenses, but in their endless capacity to think beyond the expected and transform the impossible into reality. As the quantum web continued its silent dance around Earth, Sarah Chen smiled, knowing that this was just the beginning. The echoes of today's victory would resonate far beyond their solar system, carrying with them a simple but powerful message. Never underestimate humanity's ability to change the rules of the game.